Welcome back to Viper Bites. And yes, you guessed it. We have another emergency podcast because here we go again in the National Football League. We have a trade to talk about. And this time it involves the Kansas City Chiefs sending six-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins for 5 draft picks. A 2022 first, a 2022 second, and a 2022 fourth, as well as 4th and 6th round picks in 2023. Now, this deal came down to Miami and the New York Jets, and guess what? There ain't no sales tax in Florida, so the tax man ain't coming to get that bag that's Tyreek Hill just got. Now, the Chiefs, they are reloading, not rebuilding. Don't mistake this any way, shape, and form here. 5 additional draft picks here. That gives the Chiefs 2 firsts, 2 seconds this year. So they're going to be sitting pretty good. Now, this isn't quite the haul that you would expect back in the day for Herschel Walker when the Vikings basically gave up everything, nor is it the haul that the Saints gave up to acquire Ricky Williams in the draft way back when. Now, the one thing that this does for the Chiefs is this gives their front office all kinds of flexibility. You know Patrick Mahomes is going to get more money down the road. You know Tyreek Hill was going to get more money here, $30 million. That's a lot of money for a wide receiver and a quarterback. So this basically essentially frees up about $70 million for the Chiefs over the next 3 seasons. And for one of the top front offices in the National Football League, trust me, they're going to get some work done. How does this break down as far as the analytics community is concerned? WAR, what is it good for? Absolutely. Well, actually, it does have something here. The wins above replacement for the Chiefs, they gain about 1.25 in that kind of category there. Whereas when the Packers made that deal for Davante Adams and moved him over to Vegas, they only gained 0.94. So the additional draft picks here definitely help the Chiefs and will help them down the road. What a crazy offseason this has been so far. We have now had 9 Pro Bowl players traded in this month that have combined for 39 Pro Bowls to their credit. Yes, that's Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, Yannick Ngakoue, Davante Adams, DeShaun Watson, Matt Ryan, and now Tyreek Hill. The NFL is drunk on something, and hey, the casual fan, you have to be loving this right now. This is fun. This is like playing Madden mode here right now, franchise mode, whatever you want to call it. Things are getting done in the National Football League. Now, the Dolphins are giving their new wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, a bit of a payday here, a 4-year, $120 million contract. That is $30 million per season, which makes him the highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League. Bet you the Raiders are pretty good, happy that they got Davante Adams signed a little bit earlier than that. Adams, he reset that mark last week. Hill blew that away this week. Now, Adams, he only cost the Raiders a 1st and 2nd round pick in this year's draft. So I kind of feel better about the deal for the Raiders than I do for the Dolphins. But hey, this helps both teams now and contending for the playoffs because the AFC West, the AFC East, heck, the AFC North, well, who cares about the AFC South? It's basically the Titans and the Colts. But there are about 12 teams right now that are going to be vying for 7 playoff spots. Buckle up. It's going to get crazy in the AFC. Now, speaking of that contract for Tyreek Hill, we talked about the $30 million per year, 120 overall. 72.2 million of that becomes fully guaranteed at the start of the 2023 league year. The other 52.535, whatever you want to look at it, that is guaranteed upon putting ink to paper. Now, Miami fans, Tyreek Hill, he's a different breed altogether, man. He can stretch the field. He can do all kinds of things. But the last time you signed a big ticket wide receiver after trading for him, Brandon Marshall, it didn't really work out long-term for you. I don't want to go there yet, but just going to throw that out there anyway. Now, Tyreek Hill, he is one of 4 players since 1970 with at least 6 touchdown catches in each of his first 6 NFL seasons. The other 3, Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harrison, pretty solid company there. Last season, Tyreek Hill, 159 targets, 111 receptions, 1,239 yards, and 9 touchdowns to his credit. Now, we will look at what he's done over the last little while. 4 of his last 5 seasons, he's recorded at least 100 targets and 1,000 yards. 9 or more touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 seasons. And 6 in his 6-year career, He has posted 479 receptions on 708 targets. That was good for 6,630 yards, 56 touchdowns, works all out to 13.8 yards per catch. Now, he has seen his yards per route diminish and his yak per reception diminish, a little bit of decrease over the last 4 years. And yak per reception last season was the lowest of his career. Now, let's look at the Chiefs here. Now, the Chiefs' depth chart is as followed. Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, Josh Gordon, Justin Watson, Cornell Powell, Dieter Gehrig, Corey Coleman. Help is on the way. Sort of, kind of, probably not. But hey, Marquez Valdez-Scantling at the time of this recording was flying in for a visit. And you have to assume that these Chiefs, they're going to grab a wide receiver here with one of the first picks that they have, whether it's in the first round or the second round. We know they have picks 29 and picks 30 here in this draft, and then the 2 seconds. So you have to assume at least one, possibly two wide receivers find their way to Kansas City this year's draft. Now, I know there are cap implications when you have a quarterback making that $50 million, like I talked about earlier. You're going to have a wide receiver wanting $30 million. But is anyone else not getting the heebie-jeebies here, seeing some red flags? Are we missing something? How do the Chiefs let Tyreek Hill go? A top receiver in the game. I don't know if he was unhappy, if there's some discord, or maybe Jackson Mahomes and Juju Smith-Schuster try to talk him into some sort of TikTok collaboration. I don't know what's going on. And Dolphins fans, you're probably drunk with love right now, and rightfully so, for all the work that your team's been putting into the offseason. But something just feels off about this deal. I know we all feel good about it now, but hey, honestly, I just don't trust the Chiefs here. Something just doesn't feel right. For the Dolphins, even after today's trade, the Dolphins still have 2 first-round picks next year. They got theirs and they got the San Francisco 49ers. So it's not like they sold the farm. They've still got some good draft capital moving into next season. So it's not like, I don't know, trading for DeShaun Watson and what that kind of costs the Browns. After taking Mike Gesicki, the Dolphins have added Tyreek Hill to Teron Armstead there at left tackle, left guard Connor Williams, wide receiver Cedric Wilson out of the Dallas, Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert there in the backfield, and Alec Ingold, big bruising fullback. So the Dolphins, like I said, have been getting work done here in the offseason. And as far as their depth chart goes for the wide receivers, you've got Tyreek Hill, and then you've got, as I said, Cedric Wilson, but Jalen Waddle is still there. Devontae Parker is still there, but how long? He could be a cut casualty. Preston Williams, he could be a cut casualty. We don't know. Lynn Bowden Jr., he's still there. Alan Hearns is still there. I don't know why, but he still is. And then Trent Sherfield coming over from San Francisco knows the Mike McDaniels type offense. So he's there as well. Now, Miami was 17th last season in passing yards per game, averaging 214.8 yards per contest, which was and 21st in the league in passing touchdowns. Some are going to kind of point out the fact that when we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa here, the throw ADOT was 28th. The yards per attempt was 23rd. Passer rating, 19th. But they failed to mention when we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa, because he's getting a bum rap about whatever reasons that might be about the noodle arm or whatever. Can't let it rip, can't get it downfield. I call kibosh on that, because when you look at what happened last year, what we failed to mention of the offensive linemen who have given up the most sacks in the NFL last year, three of the top 7 in that category are all starters for the Miami Dolphins, hence the acquisition of Teron Armstead via free agency, hence Connor Williams coming via free agency, securing that left side. You've still got some guys there, Hunt still there, and Eckenberry, they're still there on the right side, so we'll see if they can clean things up a little bit. But the additions of Tyreek Hill, along with Cedric Wilson, along with Jalen Waddle, along with Mike Gesicki, this gives the Dolphins a dynamic group of pass catchers here that can do all kinds of different things. Waddle led the way as a rookie last year with 104 receptions, and a good portion of those were on short passes, 9.8 yards per reception, give or take. He still found a way to 1,000 yards. Now, teams are going to have to choose whether to take away the top burning Tyreek Hill or let Jalen Waddle beat him underneath. However, guess what? Jalen Waddle, he can beat you deep too. So you don't know what you're going to get. Are you going to run 2 high safeties? Because then you're going to be in trouble, because you're going to have guys like Mike Gesicki and Cedric Wilson absolutely get the underneath on you all season long. It's going to be fun to watch what Mike McDaniels does with this offense. When you've got a guy like Tyreek Hill runs a 4.2 40, and then Jalen Waddle that runs a 4.37, not bad for a Penguin. I mean, this is one of the fastest wide receiver duos in the National Football League. Heck, you know what? Bring back Will Fuller, put him with Waddle, put him with Tyreek Hill, and just run goes all day long. Trust me, I'm not worried about Tua Tagovailoa's arm here at all. But hey, maybe the Chiefs, they try and replace some speed. Maybe they go after Will Fuller here in the offseason. Now, Could Mike McDaniels really deploy Tyreek Hill in a similar manner to what Deebo Samuel went through last year? I know we're all trying to find the next Deebo, but Hill does do some pretty good jet sweeps. He does some pretty creative things when the ball's in his hand, and you can't teach speed. Just run jet sweeps all season long. That is going to open up things between the tackles for Chase Edmonds and for Raheem Mostert. That's going to be there. The bubble screens are going to be out there, and the seams are going to be there all year. This offense and Mike McDaniels, you think Sean McVay is creative with how he runs his offense? Wait till you see what Mike McDaniels brings to the table here in Miami. Now, as far as Tagovailoa is concerned, Tua there, I mentioned some of the things that he's going to get knocked on. I also mentioned that offensive line really struggled. Now, we can stop with this narrative of the noodle arm type thing that he can't really get it out there. His adjusted completion percentage on passes more than 20 yards last season was 55%, which was amongst the best in the National Football League. And it's not like he forgot how to throw the deep ball. He can still rip it. Hey, he was ripping it back in Alabama there before that had that injury to that hip. So trust me, Tua, he can get the job done. He can get the ball down the field when he needs to. Now, when it all comes down to this trade, as far as the Chiefs are concerned, you know what? I'm just going to blame Jackson Mahomes because that seems like the easiest thing to do. But hey, you know what? Let's get on. Let's move on. Head over to fantasypoints.com. Enter promo code Vipers22. Get 10% off that subscription today. Trust me, it's one of the best bang for your buck websites out there as far as subscriptions are going. And hey, get down here. Get in the comments below. Hit that like button. Get in the comments and say, who is the best wide receiver duo in the National Football League? Is it Hill and Waddle? Is it Adams and Renfro? Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin? Or is there another dynamic duo that we are not mentioning right now? Who is the best in the league? Who are the best wide receivers going there? And with that being said, this has been Viper Bites, and we'll catch you next time because trust me, I think things are just about to get a little more crazy in the National Football League as we get closer and closer to the draft.